Hello students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the federal and unitary features of the Indian government and the composition and the qualification for being the members of Lok Sabha. Today, we are going to discuss about some parliamentary procedures. Under this heading, Parliamentary Procedures, we have to study some of the formalities followed in the Union Parliament, that is in both the houses of the Indian Parliament. Here we are going to study some of the important terms and their meanings with examples. The first parliamentary procedure is session. Session means a period during which the House meets to conduct its businesses. We can simply say that the meetings of the Parliament are called sessions. In a year, normally there are 3 sessions. The first one is budget session. Normally that is conducted in the month of February to May. The second session is monsoon session. During the month of July and August, it will be conducted. The third session is called winter session. It will be from the month of November and December. The President of India summons the members of the Parliament for this meeting. The MPs, the members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, at the time of the session will come to the Parliament. They will attend the meeting. Thereby, they are becoming the members of the legislative procedure. The minimum gap between 2 sessions of the Parliament are 6 months. At least 2 sessions will be conducted in a year. So this is something about the sessions. Remember the meaning of the session. Session means a period during which the House meets to conduct its business. The second term is quorum. The quorum means the minimum number of members required to be present in order to enable the House to transact its business. For conducting the meeting of the Parliament, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, a specified number, a minimum number of members should be present. If that required number of members are not there, the meetings cannot be considered as a valid meeting. So the minimum number of members for the meeting of both houses. For both the houses of the Parliament, 1/10, at least 10% of the total number of members should be present to start the business. For Lok Sabha, we know the maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 552. So the quorum of Lok Sabha is its 1/10, that is 55 members. In Rajya Sabha, the total number of members in Rajya Sabha is 250. So it's 1/10, 25 members should be present to start the meeting. The presiding officer of Lok Sabha is the Lok Sabha Speaker. The presiding officer of Rajya Sabha is the Vice President of India. If the required number of members are not there in the House, the presiding officer can adjourn the House if the quorum is not there. So normally the presiding officers will not start the meeting if the required quorum is not there. Now the third parliamentary procedure, third time is question hour. The meeting of the parliament of a day is starting from 11 o'clock in the morning. From 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the first hour of every working day of Lok Sabha reserved for the question is called question hour. So we can simply say that the first hour of Lok Sabha, or the time period from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the morning is called question hour. During this question hour, the members of the parliament are allowed to ask questions. In parliament, in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there are two groups of MPs. One group is the MPs from the ruling side, and the other group is the MPs from the opposition side. During the question hour, the MPs are allowed to ask questions to the government, to the MPs of the ruling side, to the ministers, etc. This right to ask question is called interpellation. Remember the meaning of the word interpellation. The right of the members to ask question from the government is known as interpellation. Through interpellation, the legislature is controlling the executive. All the questions are addressed to the chair, and if admitted, the government is obliged to answer them. Before asking the questions, these questions are to be submitted to the presiding officer. The presiding officer, the Speaker of Lok Sabha, will verify the questions, and if he feels that these questions are valid and reasonable, he select these questions. Then if the question is selected, if the question is approved, the members will be allowed to ask questions. Once the member is allowed to ask the questions, these government officials, the MPs, the ministers are obliged to answer the question. In the question hour, there are three types of questions can be asked. There are three types of questions. They are: the first category of questions are called starred questions. Starred questions are the questions to which a member wishes to have an oral answer on the floor of the House. These questions are indicated by an asterisk mark. Once the questions are submitted to the Speaker, these questions will be marked with an asterisk mark. If a question is marked with an asterisk mark, it meant that its answer should be given orally. Once the answer is given on the floor of the parliament, those who are asking the question can ask subsidiary questions for clarifying the answer. If further queries are there, it will be clarified by asking subsidiary questions. So this is called starred question. Once again, starred questions are to which a member wishes to have an oral answer on the floor of the House. Second question is called unstarred question. Unstarred questions are the questions to which answers are given in written form. It will not be delivered in the floor of the parliament. The answers are to be given in a written form to the person who is asking the question. The last question is called short notice questions. These are the questions related to a matter of urgent importance. These questions will be given at least 10 days before the day of asking the question. So these are the three types of questions. Starred questions, unstarred questions, and short notice question. Now, the next term is 0 hour. 0 hour refers to which begins at 12 o'clock soon after the question hour and continue till the lunch break, which begins at 1 o'clock. We can simply say that the second hour of the parliament is called 0 hour. It is starting at 12 o'clock soon after the question hour and it continues till 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, the lunch break will be there. During the 0 hour, all types of question can be asked without any permission or prior notice. For asking questions during the question hour, there are some procedures. There are permitted questions can be asked and three types of question. The starred question, unstarred question and short notice questions can be asked. But during the 0 hour, such type of restrictions are not there. Any type of questions can be asked, and for asking such type of question, the permission of the chair is not required. So automatically during the 0 hour, too much disturbance will be there, and it is the duty of the presiding officer of the house to maintain discipline in the house. The next parliamentary procedure is called motion. A motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the house should take up some particular matter which is of public importance. In all the sessions, in the monsoon session, budget session and winter session, there is a pre-planned agenda will be there. For all the day's business, some agenda will be there. This agenda will be decided by the presiding officer. So as per the agenda, meeting will be conducted. Then there are two types of motions: adjournment motion and no confidence motion. An adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other business and take up a matter of urgent importance. Just now I told you, in all the sessions, all the day, some agenda will be there. As per the agenda, the meeting will be conducted. But sometimes, due to some particular reasons, due to an unexpected natural calamity or any other problems, the house wanted to take a particular matter after putting aside the other business. In such cases, the adjournment motion will be passed. An adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other business and take up a matter of urgent importance. Second one is called no confidence motion. A no confidence motion is a proposal expressing lack of confidence in the ministry. In the junior classes, you have studied how these governments are formed. Normally, after the election, the political party which got majority will make the ministry. Sometimes no political party will get simple majority. At that time, 2 or 3 political parties will join together and they are making the coalition ministry. If it is a coalition ministry, chances are there for problems. If problem is there, one political party may withdraw the support to the ruling party. In such cases, the opposition party can bring a non-confidence motion. Once the no-confidence motion is accepted by the speaker, he will give a date for conducting voting within the Lok Sabha. If the ruling party is not able to prove their majority, we can say that the no confidence motion is passed. Once the no confidence motion is passed, the ministry has to resign collectively. Remember, the no confidence motion can be brought by the opposition side only in Lok Sabha. So these are the two motions, the adjournment motion and no confidence motion. Then the last topic is adjournment and prorogation of the House. Adjournment of the House and adjournment motion are different. The first term, adjournment. Adjournment of the House means the suspension of the sitting of the House. It is the suspension of the sitting of the House. Prorogations means it is the termination of the session of the Parliament. This is the main difference between adjournment and prorogation. Adjournment is the suspension of the sitting of the House, whereas prorogation is the termination of the Parliament. The second difference, adjournment is done by the Speaker, whereas prorogation is done by the President. Then third difference is the situation of adjournment and prorogation. Adjournment happens after the business of the day is over, for the want of quorum, if too much disturbance is there in the House, or due to the death of an existing or ex-member of Parliament, the Houses will be adjourned. But prorogation, it happens when the session is getting over. So these are the differences between adjournment and prorogation of the House. The topic parliamentary procedures are over now. The next class we will study about the presiding officer of Lok Sabha, that is the Speaker.